if you use ground beef on the regular, like we do, I've got 5 recipes for you using ground beef that your family's gonna love. Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. The 2 top meats we use in this house are ground beef and chicken. I've done a couple of chicken videos in the past, so if you're interested in seeing those, where it's just recipes just using chicken, I will link those below. And I've also done a ground beef video too. But it's been about a year, so I thought I would do an updated ground beef video, sharing with you 5 recipes that we love in this household. Tonight we are making a creamy beef taco soup. Ma'am. Let's set this to the saute setting. Gracie Lou. There'll be cheese later. Okay, so it says it's hot. Let's put our Instant Pot little clip on here so it doesn't stir on us. There we go. We're gonna add in 1 pound of ground beef. I also have half an onion that I've already chopped. And you wanna use half of a bell pepper that you've chopped. I already had a red on hand. I don't think it matters what color. And let's just brown this up. I'm gonna leave the original recipe linked on my website, but I'm doing half of it. So just a heads up, this is not gonna make a whole lot. If you have a larger family, definitely do that whole recipe. You also wanna make sure that it's not, you don't have any spots on the bottom that are like have burned onto the pot. I think I'm good, but you'll get that burn notice if you do. Okay, now that this is done cooking, let's add in some more ingredients. I've got some minced garlic. You need about 1 clove for this, but the recipe says you need 12 ounces of beef broth. This can is 14.5 ounces, so I'm gonna use almost the whole can. It says to use 1 can, a 14-ounce can of diced tomatoes. I'm using some fire roasted tomatoes. That's just what we prefer. I'm gonna use a couple of ounces of salsa. That's gonna add a good flavor in there for sure. And then 1 pack of taco seasoning or 2 to 3 tablespoons of homemade taco seasoning. Now let's stir all of this to combine it. Let me take the clip off. We're gonna pop the lid on. Set it to sealing. Gracie, honey, I'm trying to film. I really don't know what she thinks I'm doing over here. So let me hit cancel to turn it off of saute. And then we're gonna do pressure cook for 2 minutes and then we'll let it naturally release. Let me tell you, I waited 10 minutes, but then I decided to let the rest of the steam out. I just couldn't wait any longer. So there's that. So I let it naturally release for 10 minutes and then I released the rest of the steam. It smells really great. We've got our 2 ounces of cream cheese. It says it needs to be very soft, so I stuck it in the microwave for just a second. It's very soft. We're gonna add that in. I've also got a half a cup of heavy cream, and we need about 1 cup of cheddar cheese.
I'm dressed for success.
Look, I just knocked tons of cheese on the floor. Gracie.
Oh, Gracie, come on, little girl.
Honey, you see it? Oh.
Oh.
No?
He's like, I don't trust you.
It's right there.
Oh.
We got it.
Nice.
There's more. It's a good day for you. There you go. Okay, now that we've added all of that in, let me move this closer so you can see. We are just going to stir this around until it has all combined and melted down really well. I gotta make sure that all the cream cheese is completely dissolved because that would be my luck. Stephen would get a big old bite of like cream cheese. It is very thin consistency, so I've brought it back up to a bubble. I'm gonna add in just a little bit, I'm gonna add in just a little bit of cornstarch just to kind of thicken this up a little bit. And let's just see if that'll thicken it up just a tad. This is personal preference, y'all. This recipe, when I was looking at it, this is a keto-friendly recipe, so if you're not worried about keto, you could definitely add corn or beans to this, but we're gonna keep it as is. And you're gonna top this with whatever toppings you want. We are about to eat.
Yeah.
Spread cream cheese on it.
That's right. All right, here we go. Got my uniform on. It's time to eat.
That's right.
All right, this looks really good. Look how creamy that looks. That is delicious.
Is it?
Oh, wow. Creamy, spicy.
Yeah.
Lots of flavor packed in there. Oh, yeah. I love the tomatoes in there, too.
Fire roasted tomatoes, yeah.
Some fire roastedness in there.
So we've got these hint of lime tortilla chips that we're eating it with. Some avocado, some sour cream.
Oh, man.
Deliciousness.
Oh, yeah.
Have you decided to start some healthy habits at the beginning of the new year? If so, let Thrive Market help you with that. Thrive Market can support whatever healthy means to you. If you aren't familiar with Thrive Market, they are just an online membership-based grocery store on a mission to make healthy living easy and affordable for everyone. And when they say easy, they mean easy. I order so many of my groceries from my couch in my PJs. Click a few things, and then it ships right to my door. The great thing is they offer the best-selling organic foods and natural products while guaranteeing you some savings. Speaking of savings, in this order alone, I saved over $69. And if you find a better price elsewhere, they will match it. I have been a member for several years now, and I always stock my pantry with certain items that I get over and over again. I also love to get different snack foods because they just feel a little bit better if they're organic. You don't feel as guilty when you're snacking, okay? But they also have other products too, not just food. So if you're looking for non-toxic beauty items, personal care items, supplements, wine, meat, seafood, frozen veggies, and so much more. In the new year, a lot of people are trying a different lifestyle or a diet, and you can filter the catalog of products by that lifestyle. So if you're doing keto, you can filter it by keto and see everything that falls under that category. I mentioned that it's membership based. You can do month to month, or you can do yearly. If you do month to month, it's $12 a month, but if you do yearly, it comes out to $5 a month. You're billed annually, $59.95. And if you decide to do the annual membership, if at the end of the year you have not saved $60, Thrive Market will credit you the difference. Just head over to thrivemarket.com/mandyinthemaking, and when you join today, you're gonna save 30% on your first order, plus you're gonna get a free gift worth up to $60. I'm gonna be making a Big Mac salad. So we're going a little bit lighter and leaner tonight. So we're gonna get that Big Mac flavor, but without all of the calories. We're gonna get started by making the sauce first. So I've got some Duke's mayonnaise here. We need about a half a cup. We need some grated onion. I've already grated mine. Let's add that in. I'm doing a little less grated onion than it calls for. That's just personal preference. We need a couple of tablespoons of ketchup, a tablespoon of sweet pickle relish, brand new jar, can't open it. Gonna use my handy dandy little, I'm telling you, this thing is the best. Okay, a tablespoon of that. A couple of teaspoons of yellow mustard. Did you see that? Yep, 1, 2. A teaspoon of white vinegar. And then we just need about a 1/4 teaspoon of paprika. That is our sauce, our Big Mac sauce. And it's also gonna be the dressing for our salad. I'm gonna pop a lid on this, and it's gonna go in the fridge while I prep everything for the salad. I'll taste it. Okay. I'm glad I tasted it. I'm gonna add a tad more ketchup. This is not the same spoon I just took a taste test with. I wanted a little more of that ketchup flavor in there. Yep. Perfection. That's good. Pop the lid on. Okay, so we're just going to brown the ground beef, and then we will season it afterwards. This is a really lean ground beef. I won't have much fat to drain off of it, but you may want to cook yours, drain it, and then season it. I washed my romaine lettuce. You could use iceberg if you wanted to, but I'm going to tear it and put it in here and dry it. I left my mustard there. It's decoration. I got this salad spinner thingy at TJ Maxx years ago, and I love it. Okay, let me start adding this to my salad bowl. Okay, so this is finished cooking. I have turned off the heat. We're gonna add in some seasonings. You need about a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of pepper, about a half a teaspoon of garlic powder, and a dash of the Dub sauce. I do a lot of dashes. Let's just mix that together, and then we're just gonna put it over here on a plate so it'll start cooling off. We don't want it to go onto our salad hot. Okay, it's time to serve our salads. I was just gonna do it all here, but it's gonna make it a little bit harder to get all of the parts of the salad in each bowl. It's just me and Steven here tonight. Cole loves a Big Mac, and he loves salad, so he's missing out.
I like Big Macs too.
Well, I know you do, but I'm just saying Cole's missing out.
Yeah.
All right, Steven's gonna add in our ground beef on one side, or in the middle, it doesn't really matter. You do it how you want to. He started in the middle and I said side, so it is what it is.
Look, I'm just following directions. I just eat.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
You're just the eater.
That's right, I'm eating.
Now I'm gonna add some cheddar cheese. We have a Zaxby's near us. They serve chicken. I don't know if you know. I don't think it's all over the US, but their salads, this is how they prepare their salads. Whenever you get it, they're all in different sections and then you have to mix it all together. What else we got?
We got some onions.
Onion. Do it to it. Okay, we're gonna add some maters.
Some pickles on there.
We got pickles.
Oh, mine on top.
Hey, go over there in the fridge and we've got the Big Mac sauce.
Oh, can't forget that.
I mean,
oh man, that smells good.
that's what makes the whole salad.
I'm gonna drizzle it with a spoon.
Well, that's just pretty.
Yeah.
She's so pretty.
Gonna be pretty good.
Here, you want some cheese?
Golly.
There you go. Y'all, I gave it to her, I promise, or else she would still be screaming. Okay.
We made a little mess right there.
That's all right. Let's eat.
These are mine. I don't know where yours is at.
What you think?
I think this is going to be amazing.
I think it's gonna be really good.
But we got to get all the pieces.
Right, you gotta get a little bit of each thing on your fork.
Got to get a little bit of everything on here. Wow. That is a Big Mac in a bowl.
That is awesome.
You did good.
Thanks.
That's amazing.
I'm so excited.
Wow. Presentation wise, I love it. But however, I think mixing it all in there together
Yeah.
would be more functional.
Well, of course, yeah. For the picture,
I mean, I
and
guess
just to
you
make
can-
it look pretty, you want to do it that way. But
Yeah.
then kind of mixing it all together once it's on
Right.
the plate.
If you're trying to impress, you know,
Sure,
maybe
sure.
do it that way. But functionally, you
You want to toss it.
just put it in there.
We are making Instant Pot Taco Tortellini Casserole. It's very easy. Bonus, you can even do this if your ground beef is frozen. You don't have to thaw it like I did. If you are really in a crunch, the recipe actually says use frozen. So there's that. The recipe doesn't call for it, but we love onion. So I'm going to cut a little bit of onion up, not this entire thing, probably just about half. And it looks like it has a bad spot on it anyway over here on this side. So I'll just use what I can. Okay, while I'm standing here crying because I don't ever take any of your advice or my own advice about cutting onions, I always just jump right in there and then regret it. So let's chop up this oregano while we're over here. That should be plenty of fresh oregano. You can use dried. I just happen to have this in my little herb garden. Let's turn this on to saute. Now, if your ground beef is still frozen, you don't have to do this part. I'm going to cook it all on the saute function here, but you don't have to do that if you're just gonna use frozen. I have the recipe printed here, and as always, I will have it linked in the description box. While we are waiting on the Instant Pot to get hot, I'm gonna shred my cheeses. Now the recipe calls for 2 cups of cheddar cheese. I'm gonna do a cup of cheddar cheese, but also a cup of Monterey Jack. Commentators in here saying, looks like you got your work cut out for you.
Might have to help you a little bit here, just because I want to.
Oh, you so sweet. Gracie Lou is out on the front or back porch, so she has no idea that cheese shredding is happening right now. Can you believe that? Okay, so our Instant Pot says it's hot. Let's add in our pound of ground beef. And I'm also gonna add in that onion that I diced. And I'm just gonna cook this until it's done. And then we'll add in the rest. I'm gonna add in a couple of tablespoons of my homemade taco seasoning. You can just use a pack from the store if that's what you have. And then I'm also gonna add in some minced garlic. You know what else we're gonna go ahead and add? We're gonna add our fresh oregano. So you can add your dried at this point if that's what you have. That'll season the beef as well. Okay, so our ground beef is done cooking. I'm gonna turn the Instant Pot off for now. And we're gonna add in a can of diced tomatoes. I'm using fire roasted. And then we're also gonna add in a cup of beef broth. Let me stir all of that together. And then at this point, we're also gonna add in 1 cup of the cheese. Not all of it, but some of it. I'm gonna try to add a little cheddar and a little Monterey. Let's stir all of that together. And I'm gonna grab my tortellini. So this recipe calls for 250 grams of tortellini. I'm gonna be real honest. No idea how much 250 grams of tortellini is, except on this bag, it has grams. Boop, boop. This is the family size and it's got 567. So we're gonna use about half of this bag.
Y'all half it.
Go half it. Now, we're gonna add the tortellini on top of the beef mixture. We are not going to stir it in. This is just a 5 cheese tortellini. We are just gonna make sure it's all in one layer, but we're not gonna stir it. I'm gonna add a couple more just for good measure. There we go. Let me take my Instant Pot clip off. This thing is so nice. And we're gonna pop the lid on. Gonna set it to sealing, and we're gonna pressure cook. It's set at 1 hour from the last time. I'm gonna bring it all the way down. You're not gonna believe me when I tell you what I'm doing. We're gonna pressure cook for 0 minutes. Not kidding. So basically it's gonna come up to pressure and then be done. So it just came up to pressure and it immediately starts counting up at this point. We're gonna do a quick release. And I already have my oven set to broil, and we are going to add all of our casserole here and top it with the rest of the cheese and just broil it for a couple of minutes. I'm gonna stir this around. Can you even see it? Not really. You'll see it in just a second. And we're going to transfer it over to this dish. Now, there's a good bit of liquid in it just because we had that beef broth, so I'm kind of draining it a little bit as I go. I don't want it too liquidy. I am gonna top it with just a little bit of salt and pepper. There is a good bit of salt in the taco seasoning, so I'm not gonna add too much salt, but I do want some pepper. Now we're just gonna top it with the remainder of the cheese. And this is gonna go under the broiler for maybe 3 to 5 minutes. Just keep an eye on it, obviously. You don't wanna burn it. I do this because I'm gonna walk away and then I'll forget it and I'll burn it. Sure as the world, I'll do it. We let this rest for just a few minutes before digging in.
Oh man, spicy meat, not too much.
Yeah.
Got that good Tex-Mex Mexican flavor,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah.
With the fire roasted tomatoes. Then you got the tortellini. It's got that gooey little cheesy middle in there.
Yeah.
Not really much of a sauce.
No.
It's a little saucy.
Yeah. Ma'am, you're being very loud. Yeah. You missed the cheese inside. I'm sorry. You were out here napping. Yeah. This is so good.
It's really good.
It's kind of unexpected because tortellini is usually an Italian, Italian meal. So it's kind of unexpected to have the taco flavor, but it goes so well together. The creaminess of that cheese in the middle of the tortellini, man, that is delicious.
We're gonna have some chili cheese sliders today on some Hawaiian buns. It's gonna be fantastic. All right, so I went to the store and got some hamburger meat. Lots of fat in that though. Look at that, 73% lean. Gotta have some good flavor in it. All right, let's get our chili started. First thing we'll do is get our skillet going here on medium-high heat. Let's turn it up, and then we'll start prepping our meat. We're gonna take about 1 pound of this meat, which is our ground beef here. We're just gonna put it in the pan. Let's get our magic tool in here, our mix and chop thingy. Start adding some of our seasoning. We'll add some pepper, freshly ground, grind up some salt, garlic powder. All right, then we're gonna add the main ingredient here, right? It's our chili powder. We're gonna add a good bit of that. We're gonna add some heat to it, some cayenne pepper. You don't have to add this if you don't want to, it's optional, but we're gonna kick the heat up a good bit. All right, now I'm gonna add just a little bit of cumin, not too much. Cumin can really be overpowering if you add too much in there, but it's got like a nice kind of citrusy flavor to it, I guess. Oh man, that is smelling right. I'm gonna put the heat down to about medium. Let that hang out for just a little while we cut up we're gonna chop some jalapeno. Obviously you wanna remove the membrane if you don't want, and the seeds if you don't want a tremendous amount of heat. But we're gonna go half and half here. So we're gonna leave some of the heat in there because we like our chili spicy. All right, let's go pop this in with our chili. And then we're gonna let that chili slow cook for the remainder of our time. Okay, let's reduce our heat to low. I'm gonna grab a lid for that. We'll just let it hang out. All right, y'all, I decided we're gonna add some tomato sauce in here with our chili. We usually do that, and I had forgotten about that, so let's don't forget to do that. This will make it a little saucier, and it'll kind of dampen down those bold flavors in there. All right, got our heat turned down to low. We're gonna set the cover back on it. All right, y'all, we're gonna add our hamburger meat to this bowl here. We're gonna start mixing up our meat with our seasonings. Not quite 1 pound. Just gonna be me and Mandy this time. All right, we're gonna go pretty basic on our seasonings here. Salt, pepper. Definitely gotta add that. Some salt as well. Some garlic powder. And then we're gonna add some Dub sauce. Worcestershire. Kind of smoky flavor in there, some real deep, bold flavors. Our chili is going to have a lot of spice to it, so we don't need a whole lot of seasoning here on our meat. We got some good fat hamburger meat too. This will be a treat. All right, y'all, we're going to get us some meat out, just about the size of a meatball, you know. Roll it up in your palm here, and then we'll just use a fork to kind of flatten it out. Want them all to be the same size. We'll shrink up a little bit on the grill so you get them outside, so that's about right. That slider's looking a little rough, isn't it? He's not wanting to cooperate. Look at him. Looks like some kind of alien. It's like a blob. It's all good. It's all going in one place, right? Okay, we'll set these to the side. Back in the refrigerator for just a little while we get our sweet potatoes peeled and chopped up into French fries and ready for the air fryer. All right, now I'm going to set this to the side, and then I've got to go outside and start prepping the grill. Okay, I'm going to chop up a little onion as well to go on our sliders. Mandy don't care for onion too much, so this is mainly going to just be for me. I don't know where I put my microphone at. So our grill's almost ready. Now we need to go ahead and start getting ready for cooking up our sweet potato fries. First thing we want to do is preheat this to 400 and go. Now while that's preheating, we're going to go ahead and season up our sweet potato fries. So we want to get some olive oil, drench them in some olive oil there, and then we're going to start putting our seasonings, salt and pepper, of course. Then we're going to add some garlic powder and some paprika. You just use your hands and just start mixing it up. In we go. We'll pop them back in. We're going to go in for about 12 minutes total time. Halfway through, we'll pull it out, shake them up. All right, we're halfway through. Oh yeah. Shake it up real good. Back in. Burgers are done. Oh yeah, sweet potato fries are done. They look fantastic. Wow. Hey, sweetie.
Hey.
Y'all, that chili is amazing. Nice and spicy. Flavors are just on point. Then you got the mustard with that chili, fresh onion, and then that little pop of pickle there. It is gorgeous. Nice and juicy.
Your eyebrows are telling the whole story. They're up and down, up and down.
Texture of the fries are not as crispy as I want them to be, but that's okay. It's all right.
They look great.
All right, well, you keep enjoying that. I'm gonna go make my plate. I haven't even made a plate yet. We just came in here to film him and her, apparently. Lou, I don't even have food. No, I don't. Well, y'all, Steven did a great job. This is so tasty. Man, he cooked and filmed. He's a keeper.
We are gonna have ground beef orzo with tomato cream sauce. This one is a 30-minute meal, very minimal prep going on. Let's get started. I know they've missed you, little girl. Have you missed them? Tell them. I missed you. Where did you go? Oh, all right. Can I get back to filming? Thank you. I've got this large, you can use a Dutch oven or a big soup pot. On about medium-high heat, I've got a pound of ground beef, and we're just gonna brown this completely. While our ground beef is still cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and add in this onion. I just diced up this onion really quickly because honestly, I forgot to do it before. So now I'm going to add in some minced garlic. You need 3 to 4 cloves. Also, if your ground beef has too much fat, you do wanna go ahead and drain it. This next step is completely optional. This is some red pepper flakes. I have about a half a teaspoon. We like a little bit of heat in our food, you know that. So we're gonna go ahead and add it, but you can leave that out. We also need about a half a teaspoon of Italian herbs. And we need 1 cup of uncooked orzo. If you aren't familiar, orzo is a pasta, but it's shaped like rice. We're just gonna let all of this cook together for about a minute before we add in our liquids. Okay, now we're gonna add our liquid. So it says 14 ounces of tomato sauce. This is a 15-ounce can, so it'll be fine. We're gonna pour that in. You need about 3/4 a cup of beef broth. You need 1 cup of heavy cream, so I'll do about half of this. And then you also need about a teaspoon of the Dub sauce. I call it the Dub sauce because Dub. Oh my. That already looks good. So we're gonna let this come up to a bubble. We don't want it to come to like a hard boil, but we are gonna let it come up to a bubble, and then I'll probably turn it down to about medium. And we're gonna let it cook for long enough to let the orzo cook. Okay, it's starting to bubble. I'm gonna set the timer for about 10 minutes. That should be good. You do wanna come in here and stir every so often so that your orzo doesn't stick to the bottom. And like I mentioned, I'm gonna turn the heat down. Ignore my past time banana. Let's turn it down to about medium low. That way it doesn't cook all of our liquid out before our orzo is cooked. So let's set the timer. Okay, it has been 10 minutes. I have come over here and stirred it a little bit. I will tell you I added just a little bit more beef broth because I felt like it was getting too thick. So let me turn the heat off. I'm gonna take it off of the heat. That's hot, but we can do it quickly. And let me show you the consistency. I mean, it's thick. It's not supposed to be a soup, but mine had gotten a little too thick. I probably ended up adding another 1/4 a cup of beef broth, so maybe a full cup. Just eyeball it and see how yours cooks. Maybe I just had it up too high still. And then of course the orzo is soaking up the liquid as well, but the orzo is done now. So now we're gonna stir in our spinach and our Parmesan cheese. I have about a half a cup here. I grated this a little bit earlier using my little cheese grater. And speaking of little, there's a little girl. There you go. She loves some Parmesan cheese. Okay, but before we do this, let's season it with a little salt and pepper. This is just gonna be to taste, so it's up to you how much you add. Let me stir that in. Okay, let's add in our spinach. You need about 2 cups. And then we're also gonna sprinkle in our Parmesan cheese. Let's stir this up, and we're gonna put the lid on this and just let it wilt down for 3 to 5 minutes.
Very creamy. Love the flavor of the sauce.
Yeah?
It's like a tomato sauce, but it's got like lots of, looks like cheese in it.
Yeah, it's got Parmesan cheese in there. Good.
Oh, it's a little spicy.
Uh-huh, it's got red pepper flakes in there.
Ah.
Oh, how about that? This is so creamy and delicious, and it does have a little spice to it for sure. But to me, this is like spaghetti night, but a little more sophisticated.
Yeah, I would agree.
Would you agree?
Oh yeah, this is good pasta.
It's very good. It's so creamy. That cream sauce is wonderful. And then I love the addition of the spinach, and I don't know, this is just really good. And then that little heat is great. As always, we thank you so much for being here and watching our shenanigans. Don't forget to go check out Thrive Market. Just go to thrivemarket.com/mandyinthemaking. When you join today, you're gonna save 30% on your first order. That's on top of the already great savings. And you're gonna get a free gift worth up to $60. All right, y'all, I will see you next time. Bye.